The
European Union will discuss stripping Hungary of its voting rights after Budapest repeatedly used its veto to block or delay EU support for Ukraine and sanctions on Russia. Our correspondent Alex Cadier is in Brussels. Good afternoon, Alex. How likely is it that Hungary will see its voting rights stripped?
Last month, the European Union took an unprecedented step against Poland, one of its member states. The Union invoked its strongest sanctions against the country, which could strip it of its voting rights within the bloc of nations.
Brussels was shaking, not from protests, not from elections, but from something far more dangerous. The European Union had reached its breaking point, and Hungary and Poland were at the center of the storm again. Whispers started inside EU corridors. What if we strip them of their veto power? A move so extreme that even senior diplomats called it the nuclear option. Hungary fired back first. Budapest said the EU was trying to silence sovereign nations, turning the Union into a political empire where only the biggest states decide everything. Poland didn't stay quiet either. Warsaw accused Brussels of weaponizing democracy, claiming the EU wanted obedience, not partnership. Both countries reminded Europe that the veto wasn't a privilege, but a promise that every member, big or small, had a voice. But inside the EU Commission, patience had evaporated. Officials argued that Hungary and Poland were blocking too many decisions. Migration rules, budget agreements, foreign policy. They said 1 or 2 countries cannot hold 25 hostage. Tensions exploded when EU lawmakers began openly discussing new rules that would make it possible to sideline Hungary and Poland if they kept blocking major decisions. It wasn't an official move, but it was a threat, a loud one. Hungary responded with cold confidence. If you remove our veto, the EU is no longer the EU, they warned. Poland added, if you silence disagreement, don't call it unity. Analysts across Europe suddenly began asking a forbidden question. Could this be the start of a fracture? Not a fast collapse, but the slow kind, the one that begins with political threats and ends with the first member walking away. Brussels insisted it wasn't targeting nations, only protecting the functioning of the Union. But to Hungary and Poland, the message was clear: follow the rules or get pushed aside. The entire continent watched as tension rose. Would Brussels really pull the trigger and change the rules? Or would Hungary and Poland dig in even deeper, daring the EU to act? One thing was certain. The fight for veto power was no longer about policies. It had become a battle for survival, a battle over what the EU truly is and what it might become next.